What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Raising Humans Together. Parents, I want you to think about something today. Are we correcting everything our kids do and encouraging nothing? Think about how many things our children hear from us throughout the day. Clean your room, put your phone down, do your homework, stop doing that, stop this, fix your attitude, take out the trash. Didn't I tell you to do that already? And listen, those things are part of parenting. I'm still going to parent. I'm still going to correct my boys. I'm still going to hold them accountable. But here's the question. When was the last time your child heard you say something positive about who they are? Son, I'm proud of you. Daughter, I noticed what you did today. I appreciate you taking the initiative. Or I liked how you handled that situation. That shows maturity. You didn't have to help that person, but you did, and I respect that. Because if we're not careful as parents, our kids can hear 20 corrections and not one compliment. And after a while, constant correction can start sounding like constant disappointment. And that's what we're talking about today. We notice problems faster than progress. And as parents, this is easy to do. Your child's room can be clean for 3 days, but the one day is dirty. Boy, get in there and clean that room. They can bring home good grades all semester, but bring home one bad grade, and now we're locked in. What happened there? Why is the grade is so low? What are you doing in this class? What's going on? Sometimes we become so good at finding what's wrong, we forget to acknowledge what's right. Try saying, I've noticed you've really been handling your business lately. Keep that up. Sometimes that's all they need is to hear something encouraging and something that's empowering to them. Another thing that we find ourselves doing as parents, the responsible child can receive the least praise. And this is something that parents need to think about. Sometimes our responsible child gets overlooked because they're just responsible. They get themselves up. They handle school. They stay out of trouble. They do what they're supposed to do. And because we're not constantly worried about them, we stop acknowledging them. Meanwhile, the child having the problems receives all the attention. And we do this a lot. I remember seeing it coming up as well. Parents, don't make your responsible child pay for being responsible by giving them less encouragement. Tell them that you see them too. Make sure you acknowledge that, that they're being responsible and young adults. So make sure you give them their flowers as well. Other issue I know that we're all going through, the teenagers that act like they don't care, but they do. You ever compliment your teenager and say, man, I'm proud of you. And they give you the, okay, no smile, just monotone, no excitement, just nothing. Don't let that fool you. Keep pouring into them. Think about us as adults. We like appreciation too. We like when our supervisor tells us, hey, great job. It feels good. It feels good inside. And your spouse, if they compliment you, your significant other, that feels good. When somebody recognizes you for your hard work, it feels good. So why would we think our kids don't need the same thing? They may not always show you, but trust me, they're listening. I can guarantee you they're listening. We have to realize that our voice can become their inner voice. This one is important because think about what your child repeatedly hears from you. If they hear you lazy, you never listen, you're always messing something up. You're just like your mom, your father, your cousin, your brother. Be careful with that because eventually our voice can become part of the voice they hear inside themselves. Now flip it. You're a leader. You're intelligent. You're capable. I believe in you. You made a mistake, but that's not who you are. I believe in you. You can recover from this. These are empowering words that we're going to build our kids up with. That's why I'm so big on the positive affirmations with my boys. Like I always mention, you've heard from in previous vlogs since they were little on who are we? Hunts. They respond with hunts. What are we? They respond with leaders. And what do we have a lot of? And they respond with pride. I wanted them hearing those things at home first, because I don't want the world being the first place my sons hear something great about themselves and not home hear it, which is the foundation and the nucleus of us being men and me raising them to be young men. Must also not forget kids will look for acceptance somewhere. This is something I've seen through years of working with mentoring young people. Kids, they want to belong. They want acceptance. They want somebody to tell them, you matter. We want you here. You belong with us. And if they're not getting healthy affirmations somewhere, they may become vulnerable to looking for it in unhealthy places. And that's usually what happens with our youth. That could be from the wrong friend group. That can be from social media, a bad relationship, or other negative influences. That's why building their foundation at home matters. It's very, very important. Let your children know who they are before somebody else gets the opportunity to define them. Now we'll shift gears to strategies for parents. Catch them doing something right. Don't only catch mistakes, catch character. Maybe your child helped their younger sibling without being asked. You got to give them flowers for that and kudos for that. Say something. Maybe they held the door for somebody. Maybe they handled disappointment better than usual. And you should acknowledge that. You have to say something. Praise more than accomplishments. Don't only praise grades, points scored, trophies, awards. Praise character too. I respect how you told the truth, even though you knew you might have get in trouble. I liked how you treated that person. I noticed you didn't quit. These are positive affirmations and some of the things that you can give to your kids. That showed leadership, what you did. Now you're teaching them what really matters. Another one would be correct privately when possible. Every correction doesn't need an audience. If it's something that can wait, let it wait. Pull your child aside, take a walk with them, have the conversation privately. We can hold our children accountable without embarrassing them. You don't always have to embarrass your children. You should have that private conversation with them as well. It would be more beneficial for them to have that private conversation. Separate the child from the behavior. This is a big one. Your child made a bad decision. That doesn't make them a bad child. There's a difference. You disappointed me with that decision is different from you're a disappointment. Those words don't mean the same thing. Correct the behavior without destroying the person. We should always want to do that as parents and as mentors. End difficult conversations with connection. This is something I personally try to do with my boys. As I said on previous vlogs, we may have a tough conversation. I may be disappointed in them. There may be consequences majority of the times, but when we're finished, I want to look them in their eyes and tell them I love them and give them a hug. And that's very, very important because I want them to understand that dad is disappointed in what I did, but dad isn't disappointed that I'm his son. And that's a huge difference. Discipline and love can exist in the same conversation. Now, something for parents to remember. Parents, encouragement doesn't mean we're raising soft kids. It doesn't mean everybody gets a trophy. It definitely don't mean ignoring bad behavior. And it definitely doesn't mean that we're not holding them accountable. We can correct and encourage. We can also have standards and show grace as well. We can say, that wasn't acceptable, but I know you're better than that. That's parenting. I'd like to leave you with a quote when I wrap it up. I'll leave you with a few. Don't let the world be the first place your child hears something great about themselves. Another one that I love that's close to this topic is, if the only time your child hears your voice is when they're done something wrong, eventually your voice may start sounding like disappointment. Call to action, your parents, everyone who's watching. For the next 7 days, I want you to intentionally catch your child doing something right, and not once this week, every day. Find 2 or 3 things you can genuinely acknowledge. It doesn't have to be anything major. You got up on time. I appreciate that. You helped your brother. I noticed that. You handled that situation differently today, and I'm proud of you. That was kind. You showed maturity right there. These are some of the words that will help build the encouragement and give them flowers. We're still going to parent. We're still going to discipline as well. We're still going to hold our kids accountable, but let's make sure our children don't grow up remembering everything we corrected and struggling to remember anything we celebrated. We have to celebrate our kids. Build that at home, because the world will have plenty of opportunities to tear them down. And as always, subscribe to Raising Humans Together for real conversations, real parenting experiences, and practical strategies we can use with our kids. Let's keep learning from each other. Let's keep growing together. And most importantly, let's keep raising good humans. I'll see you on the next one. Peace.